Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Play Mount and Blade Warband Prophecy of Pendor version 3.705. Today I want to talk about skill benefits. What do I mean? First, to understand that you should know that there are three different kinds of skills. Personal skills that only work for you, and you have companions, they have their own skills and they only work for them. Then there are leadership skills, which means only you can have them and you provide them to the entire army. And there are party skills, which means the guy with the highest or lady with the highest number in that skill gives his skill to the entire party. That is, for example, pathfinding. It determines the speed of the army entirely, and the one with the highest number gives it to the army. The same goes for trade. For example, I have trade 9. Every point in trade gives you 45% better prices by buying and selling. So you could think that I get 45% bonus on buying and selling, but actually it's more, because party skills get a bonus for the second highest skill in the party. The skill goes from +1 if the second highest skill is 0 to 5, 0 to 5, then +2 for 5 to 7, +3 for 8 to 9, and +4 if the skill is 10. Now, as we're alone, we have the first and the second highest skill in trade, which will actually mean that we get not 9 but +12, which means in total we get 60% bonus to buying and selling. By looting, we get 5, which means 50% bonus to loot, and pathfinding we have actually 4, which makes us a little bit faster than if we only had 3. So, first thing we do is we go in the tavern. We do that in every city. We look around, we see the merchant that has given us the quest, we see a sellsword, which is actually a mercenary that we can order for our troops, but at the start we're not using troops. Then we look for armor and weapons. First we look weapons, and we sell stuff. The more stuff you have in your inventory, the slower you are. So you should actually try to get rid of all the stuff that you don't actually need. Besides, if you find yourself in a fight and you loot and you don't have enough space, then you're actually wasting stuff and money. Why do so? Just keep your inventory clean. We look for the weapons. We're not interested in close combat weapons. A blunt tip lance. Why is a blunt tip lance a good weapon? Because it does B damage, which bludgeoning damage, which makes the enemy unconscious rather than killing him. Most lances kill your enemy. I know 18 damage does not sound much compared to 52 damage from a great bardage, but the point is, this is a lance. This thing takes its damage out of the speed with which you ram the enemy to the ground, and not by the force of the weapon itself. So we buy that, because as soon as we have strength 12 we can use that. We will need an arrow. We cannot use a longbow because it cannot be used from a horseback, and our tactic relies on horseback fighting. So we could buy a large bag of arrows for 133 gold, or a normal bag which is just 5 shots less, but only costs 50%. So we buy those. For a bow, let's have a look. This does only 1 point less damage, and we will find a better bow quite soon, so that will be enough to get our first kills. Now we go for shields, and I think I can show you something very important here. Oh yes, there you see it. The price does say nothing about the item's quality or its usefulness. For example, this round shields cost under 100 gold and has more hit points than the shield that is 50% more expensive. It has a better resistance, which is the number of damage points that are deducted before the hit points are reduced from every damage the shield takes. It has the same size, it has the same speed. So actually, that shield is better, even if the other one is 50% more expensive. Even better, see this here. This has a few more health points than our shield, but it costs more than 150%, or nearly 150% more than this wonderful metal round shield, and it'll do the job. For armor, it goes the same. Let me see. This armor here costs 800 gold and gives you plus 45. This armor here gives you 50, so more for less cost. Well, the bonus is this is be able to use with 9 strength, this needs 10, but besides that you get my point. The Price does say nothing about the actual value or usefulness for you. But we're not buying that. Horses. What is the most important thing about horses? Speed. Everything about 42 is perfect. Everything below 42 is not worth buying. Armor is taken into account. Nothing under 30, if you ask me. The more the better. None of these horses is actually good for us. Merchandise. Items to sell. You'll need a lot of experience and Excel tabels to make this work, if you ask me. I know some things about trade, but none of this except maybe the hides, but I'm not entirely sure. We should buy. I think we're good. We're not buying anything here. So we go to rain because there is a special thing for us. Oh, there is food. There is food. And our first fight.
Boy,
excellent.
what have we here?
You can fight in third person or you can fight in first person. I prefer third person unless I'm using ranged weapons. There was shown that we get 2 renown for this. The more renown you have, the bigger your army can get. Battle advantage means how many more men the enemy has more than you. As I'm alone, well, and the enemy has 5 years, we have probably a battle advantage of 4. Simple math. Never ride directly to an enemy if you can. Try to run around the enemy, because if you get straight for him and he has something like throwing spears, crossbows or anything like that, he will simply take that and shoot you in the head, or better so to say, your horse. And the moment your horse is dead, you're dead. As simple as that. Okay, and you should not let them slow you down. Ah, shit. That one got me. But we're still okay. Oh, and he blocked me. How did he do that? And I got that one. Oh boy, I'm bad today. This is not going as well as I hoped. Normally you should ride around the enemy unless he runs out of ammunition. And the moment he runs out of ammunition, well... guess what? You hit him in the head or shoot him dead. One down. Actually, these guys are not worth the trouble, but I'm trying to prove something here to you. That man is worth nothing. An unconscious man is worth, well, at least some bucks. Not necessarily a lot, but at least he's worth something. Okay, we regenerate some health over time, so 5 hit points is... Ah, for crying out loud. We must kill this guy before he runs out of arrows, because if he does, he will use that pitchfork. To hit our horse. 200 pole weapons are very bad for horses. They can kill horses pretty quickly. So we have made prisoners, which is very good. And we even found some armor. So... sadly, all that crap is pretty horrible. At least they have some arrows. Good. Yeah, that stuff is horrible, I know. And the bows are even worse than the one we have. Now look at our speed when we travel. We have 7.3 speed. Now we go to the marketplace and we sell all the stuff. And you will notice immediately, hopefully, that our speed will go up again. 800 denaries out of some poke. Speed is the same, that is because of the prisoners. And it was not a lot of weight. When you have a lot of weight with you, for example, things that you trade with, you will immediately know what I mean. Oh, jerks. but they're more dangerous. That are actually highwaymen. Highwaymen are dangerous people because, well, they're not dangerous people, but we're level 1, okay? So they are dangerous. They might even have horsemen. And fear everything that has horses. Horses are extremely bad for business. And this one even has horses with crossbows. Now we have a problem because we can wait until this guy's run out of ammunition, but with the crossbowman behind us, he will constantly trying to shoot us in the back, and we only have one shield. If we have 2 shields, we can wear 1 shield on the back and 1 shield in front, making more or less a testudo. For those of you who know Roman warfare. A turtle formation, so to say. For those of you who have read the Asterix comics. You will notice that their shots are much faster and much closer than the shots that the guys with the bows fired at us. That is because they're using crossbows. Crossbows are, well, except for that guy, crossbows are much faster when traveling, crossbow bolts, than arrows, but the reload time is much slower. Except you're fighting Empire heavy armored crossbowmen, you will be astonished how fast these guys can fire. Basically, so to speak, arrows are good to lay constant rapid fire, killing horses and taking down guys without shields. Crossbows are excellent for taking down heavy armored guys with shields that are slow moving. Why is a crossbow dangerous to our style of fighting? Because as the crossbow bolts fly faster than the arrows, they have a much harder chance, a much higher chance of hitting us when we're riding around the enemy. Second, we have a shield that has a damage reduction of 13. A bow normally does, the bow these guys use normally do, I think, about 20 damage at best. So each time they hit us, our shield health points will be reduced by 7 points. Woohoo. We have 440 life points with our shield, so our shield will take up all their arrows and not even break. By the way, if a shield breaks, it's the same with a horse. If it dies, there is the probability that the shield is destroyed or permanently damaged. A crossbow shoots slower, has a slower rate of fire, but has a lot more damage on the hit, meaning about 70 to 80 damage, even when the jerks fire them. What does that mean? Well, that means if they hit our shield, then 30 points are deducted, so we're getting about 60 points of damage. We have 440 life points, so we can take some, but not so many of these hits. When it comes to our horse has about 100 life points, about the same damage reduction like our shield. So our horse can take some arrows, our horse cannot take some crossbow bolts. Crossbow bolts are the death of horses, so if you're ever fighting guys with crossbows that are paid for what they're doing, and paid well, for example, Knights of the Ebony Gauntlet, or everything that the Empire has in store with crossbows, run for your life. Make big circles, not the small ones that I'm doing. Make big circles, as big as you can, hell, even bigger. And hope for the gods that they don't hit the horse, because if they hit the horse, they kill the horse pretty quickly. So, if we had our little lance, we could wait until these guys run out of ammunition, and then we could simply brand them to the ground. That would not be possible at this point, because we don't have the lance, and I don't want to get close to these guys. Because we have no saving, no loading policy. If they hit us hard. We're playing on the highest difficulty level, so we will be down pretty quickly. Oh yeah. That one would have gone right for my throat. And yeah, it's obvious why, because I'm far too close to them. So how well someone hits is mainly determined by his skill, archery skill or crossbow skill or throwing skill, as well as his weapon to a certain point. There are these jerks like this one here that would not hit the door of a house if they're touching it, And there are also guys like the Noldor that will kill you before you even see them. Just Noldor, you ask, well, there are elves here. The elves here call themselves Noldors. And if you ask what they are, they're probably, or more basically, oh, this guy is nuts because he does not have a shield. Oh boy, is it possible that I have the worst bow in history? I mean, I could not even kill. I'm not even hitting that guy, although he's right in front of me. Oh, that is probably because we're riding at maximum speed. Oh, come on. If I hit him in the head, he's dead. No, well, no, not dead, but severely wounded. Remember, even the most best armored guy will fall if you hit the head. No one is immune to headshots. Not even a demonic Magnus is immune to headshots. Well, he will take less damage, but still. And if you can, try to stop when you're firing unless you have a very high archery skill. Because your damage from your bow is reduced when you're firing from a horseback. Oh boy. As you can see, there's nothing they can do. They can take the damage, but that's about all they can do. And what these guys obviously don't know is that I have a bunch of arrows waiting in my chest. So even if I run out of arrows fighting these morons, I will have more than enough arrows to kill each and every one of them. Finding your chest, well, there is more than one way. One is to just remember where you left it. The other is look for the red flag, like I did. And the second is press your tabulator, tap. And then there is a mini-map that shows you, but I find that a little bit out of style. I know I have no style, but still, I figure that a little bit out of style. Some say that my fighting style is boring. That's like artillery. Artillery is not boring. Artillery is efficient. Notice the difference. Getting slain a lot is boring. Winning fights is efficient. Okay, there the guys come. By the way, the higher the distance to the enemy, the higher you will get bonus to your skills. Okay, we will not level up now because we'll wait until we find a Qualis gem as fast as possible. Well, we have a Qualis gem soon. Perhaps we'll find the guy with that gives us the elixir of Akron pretty fast. Oh, let me guess. Oh yes, they're bad. Look at this. They do not know how to use a shield. Some guys are so bad with their shields that they do not protect their legs. Well, I'm too dumb to hit the leg. Oh boy! Shields too small, brains too small, gaps too tall, let's say. Yeah, I could wait until they lower their shield and then simply shoot them. But I find that amusing to a certain point. Ah, you have to have a little different distance that you can better hit the... Ah, fuck it. I was hitting the guy. There you can see how bad my shooting skills actually are. Come on. Ah, wonderful. Well, that stance he's protecting parts of his body, but he's leaving his head open. Oh, look at this. He was making a run for it. Sometimes they're moral break, and then you can just knock them in the head and take them prisoner. Capture. Oh, look at this. Armor, finally! And a good one. Good thing we didn't pay for that. Gloves. Okay, they're not better than mine. Head armor. Oh, boy. Have we bad head armor? Mace, my mace is better. The horse is horrible. With speed 30 you should not even enter a fight. Because that's not a horse, that's just slow. Okay. Yes. We can enter here. Look for supplies. They have hides. Always look for the cities, for the villages. Sometimes you can get quests, and sometimes you can make a fortune by buying resources, because actually the cities, the villages, produce the resources. But the prices are, well, they're not bad, but they're not that good. Not as good that I would pay for them. That here is the city of Ray. First of all, we should start selling stuff that we don't need. Everything that is not an arrow will be sold. Look at the money we're getting, and we just killed morons. Absolutely useless junk we killed, and we're still getting money. Ooh, and they have a wonderful bow. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I must have that bow. Blanc composite bow. Oh, a shame that I can. But it's not that much better than the bow I'm using, actually. So that's okay. There you can see here a fine long knight lance. This is an excellent lance, and it does only a little bit damage than our lance. But as I said, the damage comes from the speed, not from the lance itself. There you can see what you can pay for arrows. Yeah, our shield is better, or nearly as good as this one. I think even better, because we've got a higher resistance, and it costs nearly 3 times that. So keep your eyes open for a good sale. Yeah, no. I think we sell the rest. You don't need a spare bows, because bows do not break. Arrows on the other way. I know they're reduced in damage, but you can never have enough arrows, trust me. Trust me, arrows are your friend. So, armor merchant. We have pretty good armor, actually. Superb studded leather over mail. That is quite good for our level. That is impressive. Our footgear, however, is a catastrophe. And our headgear is pretty much terrible. I've been even thinking of investing some money here. But, no. The goods, yeah, not that well. Horrible, to say the absolute least. Let's look for the treasure chest. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 treasure chests in the game. One is in Rain, and one is in Volon Bray. The chests are filled from the start, and when you have emptied them, you can refill them by paying guys in the taverns for secret information. And when they tell you about a secret treasure chest in Rain, the secret treasure chest in Rain is refilled. And when they teach you or tell you about a secret treasure chest in Volon Bray, it is refilled there. The only difference is, what's in this chest will only there be once. There's no treasure, there's a Qualis gem. What is a Qualis gem? A Qualis gem is actually a dragon tier in stone. And that tier you can trade for Noldor soldiers, and I've told you about that Noldor guys. They're like Legolas on combat trucks and very, very angry. Or you can trade them for your own knighthood order if you have a town. Or you can trade them for astonishing weapons. Or you can trade them for a secret location where you can buy magic weapons. Or you can trade them for an elixir of Aken, which gives you +2, +2, +2 to agility, strength, and charisma, or for an elixir that gives you +2 to your intelligence, or for an elixir that makes your guys, your companions, better. That is Torvin.
Hello, my lord.
Torvin is a slave trader. I'm in the local Red Brotherhood. Those guys are dangerous. They're slavers. And I broker ransoms for the poor wenches who are captured in these endless wars. Normally I travel between the interior towns and the slave markets on the coast, on commission for those relatives who have gone missing. But if I'm out on my errand on mercy, I come across a fellow dragging around a captive or 2. Well, there's no harm in a little speculative investment, is there? And you look like the type who might have a prisoner to sell. What if the prisoners can sell? Well, then they go to the galleys. Woo! What can I get from a prisoner? Well, that depends on what it is. For a peasant, you will get 10 gold. For a knight, you will get 200, and so on. So, first we ask him if he has any special information. Sometimes they have, but he has not. So now we can sell. A bandit is worth 73, a robber is worth 20, and a brigand is actually worth 60. So you can see there is money to be made. That does not sound like a lot, but there is money to be made here. And there we have Phineas the Digit. He's one of the guys who sells books. And actually,
a fellow
maybe
traveler as myself,
excuse me.
looking for a warm fire and pleasant conversation.
Stop talking. It's my job. So, Phineas the Digit will sell you books, and he will offer you. He has a brother actually that sells books as well, and one of them will offer you the secret location for a Qualis gem of the mine where you can buy special weapons, and the other will offer you to change the elixir, to change it for, and it is the guy with the elixir. We can take the potion of Janus to reuse us, getting intelligence. We can use it for the twilight. These two are actually new to Pendor 3.705. They were not there before, but we will take the elixir of Aachen, of course. Hooray! And now we look at the books, and if we're very, very lucky, he will have the Book of the Fox, which will increase our how is it called? Trade skill? But he does not. Crap. That book gives you tactic, that book gives you leadership, that book will permanently, as long as you have it in your inventory, well, all the books are permanently, but you have those you can read and then sell, and those you must have in your inventory to get wound treatment, trainer, surgery. This will give you persuasion, and this one will actually give you intelligence if you read it. But reading takes time, and at the moment that's something we do not have. So, no thank you, sir. Let's go to the marketplace and have a look around. I think we already looked here for stuff. The armor category we also looked. The horses. That horse is extremely fast, but it's very, very badly armored. So no. Too slow, too slow, too slow, too slow. Goods. Prices are crappy. Hides could be better. Yeah, well, not that much, but perhaps we should buy hides. I'm not sure. Hard to tell. Okay, we have a level up, so we should that. Regardless of what we take, we will be able to, if we put strength up, we will be able to increase our power draw. And our, where is it? Power draw, power strike we don't need. Well, that's basically it. With agility we could increase our riding skill, horse archery, shield, and looting. Well, looting actually not, because looting is at 4. To get it to 5 we have to have agility 17. The only good reason to take strength 1 more point is to be able to use the lance to get more prisoners. Actually, I go for agility, and I want to have more riding skill because speed keeps you alive. You get also 15 weapon points, actually only 10, but you have taken agility, so you get 5 extra. And the number of points you can spend here is determined by your weapon master skill. So, example, if you have weapon master skill 1, you cannot get these things higher than 100 by level ups. In combat, these skills can rise even higher, because when you use a bow a lot, you're getting bonuses to that skill a lot, and to the proficiency a lot. So actually this thing can go up to 450, with me still having weapon master 1, it will just take forever. So, we have done pretty good for the first, or better to say second recording, and we'll see each other again on our little way to Wallen Bray. See you then. Bye.